You know what I love? Sonic. Do you know why I love Sonic? Because of Sonic Adventure. You see, Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut for the Nintendo GameCube was the first game that I have ever played. With a lot of games that I've played as a child, I usually do not enjoy them as I've gotten older. But with Sonic Adventure, as I've gotten older, the game has actually gotten a lot better for me. Many people say that the game has aged horribly. For me, it has aged extremely well. The main reason why I believe this game has aged well is because of this game's level design. So today, I wanted to make a video where I highlight all of the reasons why I absolutely adore the level design that Sonic Adventure has to offer. So without much else to say, let's get right into it. Sonic Adventure came out at a time in gaming where every iconic video game character was making their jump to 3D. Making a 3D game for Sonic the Hedgehog was a big deal at the time, because he was one of the most iconic characters in the gaming industry right next to Mario. Sonic Team somehow had to make a 3D formula for Sonic that was fun, fast, and kept the essence of what makes Sonic Sonic. As you can imagine, this can be pretty daunting for a team of developers. They had an entire world watching to see what they were going to do. So Sonic Team did the one thing that anybody with a brain would think to do. They were going to try and replicate the classic Sonic games, except in 3D. So naturally, they had a pretty big change in plans. Except now, it's no longer classic Sonic in 3D, it was its very own beast. In the classic games, you would gain speed by the manipulation of gravity and momentum. This idea is still present in Sonic Adventure, except it's not very important and you won't be focusing on it too much. It's really just there for extra taste and so that the game feels natural when playing it. If Sonic Team wished to make it just like the classics, they would need to make the levels very large, and I don't think the hardware at the time could handle it. And since the stages are a lot larger with this gameplay style, they would also need to put a lot more work in the levels, and I mean a lot more work. Anyways, when Sonic Team was making Sonic Adventure, they took a very interesting turn with the manipulation of gravity. Instead of making the manipulation of gravity tied to Sonic running down slopes, it's now tied to Sonic's Spindash. The Spindash in this game is the sole reason why the level design is so good. If you haven't been utilizing the Spindash in this game, you aren't playing Sonic Adventure correctly. This game is meant to be played with you relying on that Spindash. That Spindash is your best friend, and all of the level design and gameplay is completely built around it. Instead of the game using slopes and other terrain to make Sonic move faster, they now help Sonic skip parts of the level. If you see a slope, you better do a Spindash jump because you can achieve some great things that way. A very common example of a skip that many people do is at the beginning of Emerald Coast. When you come over to the docks, there is an incline that leads to a spring. If you follow the spring, you will follow the built path that takes up more time. However, if you Spindash on this incline, you can skip the entire section and move on. This is just one simple skip out of hundreds in these levels. There are so many sections of these stages where you can skip a part of it if you are skillful enough with the use of the Spindash. I mean, there's so many that I actually found one on accident while recording footage for this video. I was in Ice Cap and I didn't want to do the typical jump from icicle to icicle, so instead I just Spindash past it. Alright, you may be thinking that this seems like it's breaking the game. This might not be the way that the game is meant to be played. I believe this to be untrue. There are certain skips that actually reward you for performing them. An example of this is the beginning of Speed Highway. You can Spindash on this road, and then Spindash onto this building, and then finally Spindash up the building. At the top, you will find a life. The developers knew exactly what they were doing with this level design, because they are absolute masterminds. Yes, some skips probably weren't intended, but most skips probably were. And even if they weren't intended, who cares? I think this is one of the only times that aging has actually benefited a game this much. So if you're playing this game, use the Spindash and become a pro with it. To master these levels and these skips, you have to play the game and get better. The best part about these skips is once you learn how your Spindash and jumps interact with the terrain, you begin to find the skips on your own. Most skips that I use in these levels are skips that I found naturally. However, a few of these were picked up from seeing other people play the game. Every time I see an experienced player play this game, I see an entirely new skip in the level that blows my mind. This level design gives you so much room for improvement and new strategies to discover, and it gives you so many hours of enjoyment. But there is one level that isn't as good. That level is Windy Valley. There isn't nearly as many skips, and it's actually pretty linear. It still has some skips and some open areas, but it feels so out of place compared to the other levels. Something that I have noticed is that the beta version of this stage follows the level design formula a lot better than the final product. I do not know what happened with this stage in development, but Sonic Team somewhere had some issues with it. But the beta version of this stage is actually really interesting. There's a lot more slopes and it's very open. These slopes work very well with the Spindash, and it looks like they were going all in on the manipulation of gravity here. To me, it looks like the stage's level design was meant to be more similar to the classic games, because there's certain terrain that you can't do anything with when it comes to a Spindash. The level design on this stage is also surprisingly pretty good. It is very open and there's a lot of ways you can use the Spindash on this level. The big issues as bringing this stage down is the camera, the terrible slow tornado, and the bad collision. So basically, this stage is better than the final version. I love the amount of slopes in this stage and it works really well with the Spindash. However, this level design isn't only good with the Spindash and Sonic's abilities. Another really great thing that this level design does is all of the open area. When playing through these stages, you will find some open areas for you to mess around in. It gives you some space to use your character's abilities and find secrets. I've always preferred this over the more linear stages of Sonic Adventure 2. No, linear doesn't mean bad, but the more open stages that Sonic Adventure has to offer has a lot more value to be had. Honestly, I don't really blame them for putting multiple characters in these levels. They are designed very well and are open enough to support these other characters to their fullest potential. And the openness of these levels is still very eventful. There isn't much empty space where nothing is happening, which I really appreciate. There were some time constraints when making this game, so luckily everything just kinda snapped together with the playable characters. Overall, I believe this to be the best level design in the entire series. I truly believe this game to be a real work of art, and if it had better presentation and maybe some more content to mess around with, I think it might top Sonic Unleashed for me. I hope that if Sonic Team ever decides to return to the adventure gameplay, that they design the levels exactly like this, and intentionally add this much replayability to the levels. Also, if you've played the game and never really utilized the Spindash, try replaying and messing around with the level design. You might just have a lot of fun. If you want to see more of my opinion about Sonic Adventure, go check out my review of the game where I go into great detail about why I love this game so much. Anyways guys, that's the end of the video. Tell me if you disagree down below, and also tell me what Sonic game you guys think has the best level design in the entire series. I'm kinda curious to see what you guys would say. Also, if you liked the video, make sure to leave a like. It helps this video get out there and I'd really appreciate it. So yeah, make sure to like, comment, favorite, subscribe, and hit that bell. Anyways, I wanted to shout out my channel members. They are the Loganator, Shadow Poser, Sonopedia, The Squeaker Nerd, Super Shaddix Boom, Snicks, FW Chaos, Sonic Extreme, Super Saiyan Sonic, Just Kidding and Kidding, JNextV, Scape, Sonic Pip, and Sonic Fan. You guys are awesome, and I could never thank you guys enough because you guys have helped out my channel a lot, and you pretty much went out your way to do so. Thank you guys so much. You guys are really cool. Anybody else who's cool, make sure to follow my Twitter. Over there you can just talk to me or see my opinions about the franchise. Finally, make sure to join the Discord server down below. We are a very supportive community when it comes to art, so if you make art, make sure to join and leave some of it. We love seeing what you guys create. And if you don't make art, you still gotta join because we're still a really active community that you can talk to about what your favorite Sonic games are and whatnot. Nobody is really hostile, so feel free to express your opinions there. Lastly, the VCs are pretty active and I join in sometimes, so if you want to talk to me or some other awesome people, make sure to join. Anyways, I love you guys. See you with another video soon. Adios. Cleanse yourself of evil spirits that got in